Well, there are plenty of economic implications as Cape Town counts down to a possible day zero. I spoke to Nhlanhla Sehume, a news anchor at Power 98.7 FM in Johannesburg, about what investments the government is making to find short and long-term solutions to the crisis.
Well, the city of Cape Town has budgeted about 7 billion rands, which is the equivalent of just over $500 million, up from 5.6 billion rand in the last financial year to deal with this water crisis. Much of this money will be used towards water saving projects or water projects. Just gearing up for this day zero phenomenon that's expected at around the 12th of April, according to current statistics. So now the major projects are really towards providing water points, which is more of a short-term solution. But South Africa currently needs, or rather the city of Cape Town needs a much bigger project in the form of increasing infrastructure for water, which would mean creating more dams, which is going to cost the city much more, an estimated 750 billion rands.
Now, as is often the case with the crisis, there's a lot of finger-pointing politically when it comes to how Cape Town got into this situation. How much is that affecting how quickly some of these resources and funding can be accessed to really tackle the problem?
Yeah, there is quite a stalemate right now regarding the kind of talks or negotiations that are needed to see a more permanent solution to the Cape Town water crisis. Political leaders are pointing fingers at each other. The city is currently run by a DA-led party, which is on a national structure. It is the opposition party, but it is running the city of Cape Town. So there's a lot of finger point from national government pointing fingers at the municipalities, saying it should have planned better. But the city has said that it needs more resources. It needs more money to deal with the water crisis, to create more sustainable measures to deal with another potential drought of this capacity.
Now, what about the private sector? How are they either helping out with this crisis or in some cases cashing in?
Many businesses that I've spoken to have said that they've seen almost double the figures that they've made selling water in the form of bottled water. Some businesses or hardwares or stores that mainly deal with providing jerry cans and containers have noticeably made up to triple what they made the same time last year or in 2017. So it has created a boom for business. You go to virtually every store you go to in Cape Town right now, there is a scrum or a rush for resources, or rather utilities to use to deal with such a crisis.
Now, we've seen how destabilizing it can be for a city's economy when you do have to ration out some of these basic resources. What are some lessons that could be learned from how perhaps other cities or other countries have handled crises?
With this crisis, it has taught not just the city of Cape Town big lessons to be learned, but also on a national level to prepare better for such a crisis. One has heard even inputs coming from countries like Israel, which have got a major desalination plant or project running to say that, look, these are projects that are being done in Cape Town. There is an ocean. Desalination could be used as a form to create more infrastructure or create more resources for water. So the key word here has been planning. The city knew as far back as 11 years ago that such a crisis is possible.
And just quickly, as we do see this new normal of extreme weather in certain regions, how prepared is South Africa going forward to really adapt to those challenges?
Well, right now, it all just depends on the big water projects that are being created for the country. There are partnerships that have been created with countries like Lesotho through the Highlands project to supply cities, or rather provinces like Gauteng, which is also dealing with the effects of a drought, but not as hard hit as the Western Cape. So one would be looking at similar or such projects to deal with such a water crisis. As mentioned earlier, the city of Cape Town is embarking on a plan to build more dams to deal with such a crisis, but we're still waiting. The city should have planned better. That's what residents are saying. National government has said that in the short term, behavior is key. They've encouraged people to better use water, to reuse water, to conserve water as well, and to also reduce the consumption of water that they use. But clearly, this situation could have been avoided had we had better long-term solutions for it.